know, I love Cuban food. I mean, we're talking the tradition, we're talking the flavor. The only problem is you can't find it everywhere. So here I am in the Roscoe Village area of Chicago, about 15 minutes north of the downtown area. Now, I hear they got a Cuban joint that's rocking it out. They're rocking it out, I'm checking it out. This is 90 Miles, Cuban Cafe. Oxtail.
Great food.
Fricassé de pollo.
You just feel like you're in Cuba. You feel the authenticness.
And you don't get any more authentic than Alberto Gonzalez.
I left Cuba in 1980 in the Maria boat lift.
Left your house, left everything?
Exactly.
Everything except the love of the food he grew up with. What is Cuban food? How would you explain it to somebody?
Full of flavor. I think it's not spicy.
It's not spicy. Rich and full flavor.
It's just simple ingredients. It just tastes delicious.
Fricassé de pollo.
It's winter chicken dinner, Cuban style.
We're making a rub for our chicken. Fricassé de pollo. Seasoned salt.
All of that?
All of that, my friend. We have pepper, oregano, and then we got the comino.
This is the basic rub.
So now we start rubbing our chicken. Going all over.
That's it?
That's it.
And how are we gonna cook this chicken?
We're gonna sear it. Olive oil. Sear it.
Put a little crust on it, but we're not gonna cook it all the way off.
Now we add water to wait for it to boil. So now we're gonna start with our sofrito. We're gonna add oil. Just wait for the oil to get a little warmer here. We add the onions. We add green pepper, red pepper. We add a little bit of olive oil here with garlic. It's beautiful. Stir this.
Now the cumino, just gonna sweat these down, not caramelize them, and then dump that in on top of the chicken?
Exactly. Now we're adding tomato paste, oregano, habanero, chicken stock. I will wait for it to cook for 45 minutes. And then we'll come back to it and we add cooking wine. Add some potatoes and olives. Stir it all together. And then we'll cook it for 30 more minutes. Now, it's ready for serving. Can you look at the smell?
Look at the smell.
Look at the smell.
Look at the smell.
Look.
The Tony Montana hour. I told you to tell him you're in a sanitarium.
Look how beautiful. Right here, we add our yellow rice. How beautiful it looks. Sweet plantains. We are ready.
Oh, You get the brine and the acid of the olive, and then you get this chicken, the pan drippings, that sauce that it cooks in. Oh, outrageous.
Now, if you grab a piece of sweet plantain and mix it all together, blends it up real nice.
Is that the way you do it?
It seals, yeah.
The olive. This takes the cake, man. Olives are the key, though. That's what seals the deal. That is money.
90 miles has so much meaning to me because it's a distance that I traveled to get to freedom.
ABC7 presents Enye Beat.
I'm ABC7's Teresa Gutierrez. Welcome to another edition of the Enye Beat, the show that turns the spotlight on our community, from the business world to the medical field to education and the arts. We are out covering it all. I'm here in the beautiful new Frida Kahlo exhibit at Chicago's Museum of Contemporary Art. I'll have more on this a little later in the show. Latinos bring so much to Chicago's cultural scene. One man whose journey began in Havana is now giving the Windy City a taste of his family's delicious Cuban specialties. ABC7's Roz Barron explains.
15 hours under a stormy Black Sea, and it was very scary. It was traumatizing. My mom, till the day she died, she never got on a boat again.
Alberto Gonzalez was an 11-year-old boy when he made that harrowing journey from Havana to Miami with his family in 1980 aboard a simple shrimp boat. The photo of that boat is proudly hanging in this Logan Square restaurant. But perhaps the tribute that has the most meaning to this Cuban immigrant is the name he gave his place, 90 Miles.
90 miles has so much meaning to me because it's a distance that I traveled to get to freedom.
Alberto and Cristina Gonzalez opened up 90 Miles Cuban Cafe 6 years ago. It began with a small counter service spot. Then came this, their 200-seat flagship location.
The first day we had to line out the door and couldn't keep up, and I went home crying, scared.
It also had some memorabilia of Cuba, so when you walked in, it's just not a sterile place. You had something that you could just grab from your culture.
You'll see ornate wrought iron, tropical touches, and colorful Cuban murals. Even one, Alberto says, is meant to show his family's goodbye to their homeland. But his family recipes from the island live on each day right here. 90 Miles serves up a beautiful whole red snapper, chicken fricassee, hearty paella, or you can get more lunch-type fare with 10 different varieties of empanadas or the classic Cubano sandwich.
I do believe, hands down, we are the best Cuban sandwich in town, and you're going to have one of those, and you tell me what you think.
One delicacy that really gets diners' mouths watering is done in 90 Mile's own smoker, lechon.
Cubans take lechon very serious. And on Thursdays, we have an all-you-can-eat lechon with the carbon table. And Thursdays have become one of our most popular days.
To wash it all down, you can enjoy pitchers of traditional mojitos or sangria. That is, if you don't mind bringing the booze yourself. 90 Miles is BYOB. 90 Miles has a quaint outdoor patio where tables fill up fast when the weather is nice. But even when the weather isn't great in Chicago, you can enjoy their all-season patio.
You don't feel like you're actually in a restaurant. You feel like we took everything out to the backyard and we're in the backyard.
This is one of the authentic restaurants as far as Cuban cuisines are concerned.
The food is amazing. It's very authentic. It hits so many different spots on the palate. I have one favorite, Masas de Puerco, that it's my standby.
And I came from Cuba with nothing, and I decided to just go ahead and just pretty much gamble it because I knew that we were onto something. And I got to pinch myself because I can't believe what Christina and I have created.
Thanks, Roz. The Gonzalez gamble has paid off. And this fall, they are expanding into the suburbs when their third location opens in Lincolnwood. If you'd like more information on that competition or any of the people or places we featured tonight, go to abc7chicago.com and click on Sections, Shows, then Specials. We'd like to thank the Museum of Contemporary Art for hosting us in their beautiful free
like about 90 miles is that when I walk into any of my places, I feel like I've been brought back to when I was 11 years old when I left Cuba. I remember the police knocking on my door and saying, Alberto González, te llegó la salida, which is my father's name. Basically, they knocked on the door saying, you know, your exit visa has come in. And we all got dressed, walking down the street, because we didn't want to miss a beat. The first 90 miles opened up in September 8, 2008, with the ideas that we brought from Spain in my childhood memories. My perception of a lot of the businesses in the U.S. is like bigger is better, and in Europe it seems like the smaller business the better they do. So we wanted to incorporate that feel of a small restaurant with a lot of taste here in Chicago. To all the little details like the typewriter, which reminds me of my aunt that was a writer in Cuba, the sewing machine that brings me back to my grandmother sewing my pants, the mason jars that we use for our drinks and our water. It kind of reminds me of the mayonnaise jars my mom used to wash up and use them in the dinner table at home. It's one of those things that Cubans have learned to live with, which is kind of making something out of nothing. Cuban food, in my opinion, should be served in a relaxed atmosphere. It's basically very simple food. It's a fusion from Spanish and African culture. The food here in 90 miles means a lot to me because they're my grandmother's recipes. Choripan, which is basically Spanish chorizo, sliced and making a sofrito sauce, served over bread, kind of like a bruschetta. The Cuban sandwich is a staple in Cuban cuisine. What we have is a roasted pork, smoked ham, mustard, Swiss cheese, and pickles. We put it on the panini grill and grill it for approximately 5 to 7 minutes. And you have a delicious Cuban sandwich. The ropa vieja, it's sweater beef. The proper translation to it would be all clothes, because the way it looks is like all clothes, because the beef is all shredded. It's very tender, and in 90 miles we have a secret recipe that makes the ropa vieja even tender than it was supposed to be. What motivated us to kind of stick to the arts and to the murals was the nostalgic feel of not having that many Cuban places where I could make it, where I could call it home. A family standing in the doorway looking towards Havana, and it's a three-dimensional piece. It's basically an installation that we decided to call it La Salida, which is called the exit. La Salida is a nostalgic piece that reminds me of my exit from Cuba. There's 5 of us in the picture. It was I, my brother, my sister, my father, and my mom, so it's kind of like us looking towards Havana and saying goodbye for the last time. We want your experience of 90 miles to be unique. From the moment you park your vehicle, you hear the Cuban rhythms. Once you walk into the front door, the smells will bring you in even deeper. It's kind of like you feel like you've been transported into Havana. That's what I think of 90 miles. Very simple, very chill, where people will come in with friends, have a good time, and just kind of relax.
This city has its fair share of cultural cuisine. But when 90 Miles Cuban Cafe wanted to open its second location in Logan Square, no one objected.
My wife and I decided to open 90 Miles. It was all inspired by a trip to Europe about a year and a half ago. And we noticed that everything was smaller and great food at a very affordable price. So we figured it would be a good addition to the Chicago restaurant scene to open up a small place with a lot of flair. It's, authentic Cuban cuisine in a small package.
The food tastes like it came directly out of Alberto's grandmother's kitchen.
My grandmother used to have a catering business in Havana prior to Fidel Castro. My mom learned everything that she knows from my grandmother. She taught my mother how to cook, so my father wouldn't leave her.
Their Cubano sandwich is a classic mix of slow-roasted pork, ham, Swiss, and pickles.
We've done a lot of research to try to create the best Cubano sandwich we could possibly make. What we've done is we roast our own lechon, which is our pork roast. We bake our own ham. We use Swiss cheese and just the right balance of pickles and mustard in the sandwich. And then what we do is, for added value, we add mariquitas, which is plantain chips on the plate.
Do you like empanadas? Well, 90 Miles has some of the most authentic and freshest empanadas we have come across.
Our empanadas are made on a daily basis. We like to integrate some beef, vegetables. One of our most popular ones is the goat cheese and the Creole sauce. We're also working on a new type of empanada, which is a seafood empanada. Empanada seems to be one of our most growing dishes on the menu.
The Ropa Vieja dinner is a mouth-watering portion of tender shredded beef with a mound of white rice, black beans, and fork-tender plantains.
One of our most popular dishes is the Ropa Vieja. What it is just beef on a Creole sauce with green, red, and bell peppers and onions on a tomato-based sauce. It's delicious, it's slowly simmered and very tender. It's served with black beans and rice and maduros.
What is their secret to keeping a strong fan base? It's simple. Serve the freshest possible cuisine every day.
I think everything is delicious. We make everything that you're eating today. It was probably cooked yesterday or simmered yesterday and served today. So we get the freshness.
So if you're looking for authentic Cuban cuisine that won't break the bank, make the trek over to 90 Miles Cuban Cafe in Logan Square.
We believe that 90 Miles has taken the time to think about what is it that makes a great restaurant. We think about people. We think about the quality of food, and in these hard times, people are looking for a bang for their money. And that's what we try to do. We try to give you quality, service, and a great place where you can share with friends.